Interesting. They seem to have the same symbols as the Freeman. I find this very interesting. I didn't want to really kill this cult because I am finding that the Freemen are very interesting. Basically, the whole thing that I'm finding in doing it is that they are somehow using spice, which seems to be some sort of hallucinogenic. Okay, tutorial. They're in the carcass of a dead sandworm, a madness at best, heresy at worst. What could be their motive in all of this? I will need more information if I am to file a complete report for the governor. I want to investigate further, see what you can discover about their actions and motives. Nice. This is why I'm still playing this game. Like, I was gonna quit a long time ago, but they told me, no, keep going on the story. It gets better and more interesting, and like, it's really good. So I just kept going, and I'm finding. So what I do is play these video games because I'm interested about the lores, and I take them and I connect them to the real research. Now, one of the main aspects of the real research of the paranormal and the afterlife and occultism and all of that is hallucinogenics and psychedelics, and how they open their mind. It literally removes a barrier in the brain for consciousness. It seems to connect to the larger consciousness, if you may. And I read a thing or two about Dune Lore, and it has to do with connecting with the higher realms in a sense through these spies. I don't know if there's actual. I think the author of Dune, he sees religion as controlling people, and this is why this cult seems to be pretty primitive, just worshiping the worm and whatnot. But at the same time, some of the things that the Freemen talk about seem very interesting and very philosophical. This whole idea of thought and action coming together, and how everything and their life in the desert is suffering, just aching. Oh, there's Shaihulud right there. It's correlating this Buddhist idea that life is suffering and we must overcome suffering, but not because we simply need to overcome it, but because we are preparing us for a fight of what they call here the fight of the universe. The fight is sort of like the Ragnarok, like the fight of the gods in a sense, but here it's called the Rebel Gods or something like that. The fight of the universe. So I really find this whole thing very interesting, and I think what happens here is that when the spies, these cultures, these cults, connect to a higher intelligence, and in the real research of altered states of consciousness, this is exactly what seems to be going on when people go into hallucinogenics, psychedelics, and so on and so forth. They do connect with a higher intelligence. Whether Sheikh Lut is part of that intelligence for real or not, that's to see, but it is pretty interesting. This same thing happens when people go into the afterlife and they have a near-death experience. It's the same entities, it's the same story. It's a much larger story than any philosophy, any religion has been able to come up with. I'm thinking I can definitely go beyond the lore with Dune Lore. I am finding it very interesting. All these symbols that they see while they inhale the spice. It reminds me of the geometrical shapes that people claim they see when they go into hallucinogenics. And it's not just people tripping and going crazy. They're literally tapping into, not to say a higher intelligence, because some people might take offense to that and that might be too much for them to handle. But let's say a different type of intelligence, where these geometrical symbols actually mean something interesting. Search a masquerade container, and then I have to kill some of these dudes. I mean, they are murderers. A cult of murderers, something like that. So that's not cool either. I do think that even the Freemen were somewhat primitive, despite the fact that they did perhaps encounter a higher intelligence in their trips to the, let's call it, cosmic realm. Oh, there's the worm right there. That's some sort of a shield. She told me the story about the worm, but I didn't. Sometimes I zone out when I look into these things. Oh, this is huge. Look at that. That's the priestess. Seems to be locked behind these pentashields because probably people want to kill her. So maybe her prophecy has something to do with it. Or the carcass of the worm in front of her. Oh my god, this is so cool. It's so symbolic. Nice. I find I can